Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm the South African Wanderer, and today what we're going to do is a quick review of this little piece of equipment right here, which is the Godox Litemons LED 6R, which is a little LED cube light that I've added to my run and gun setup, which includes my GoPro Hero 10, and then I've just got the Boya mic on it at the moment, but I can switch the mic out for the Rode wireless mics if I need to. This is the little setup that would have been capturing all the video that I was doing in the Kruger. So the last 8 or 9 episodes of the Kruger videos, most of it would have been with the GoPro and then with the Boya mic running through the GoPro. But you would have seen that we were out very early in the morning, most of the mornings, and that's where this LED light demons, well, I think they call light demons. It's spelled light demons, but I think that's just to avoid sort of branding issues. But I think it's a light demon LED light. So that's where I found the most use for this LED light. So I think what we're going to do is start off with the conclusion almost first. I paid $5.99 for this light, and I've already found, significant use for this light. You would have seen my videos where, I'm holding the camera, so my GoPro, I'm holding it and I'm vlogging like this, and this light already adds significantly to my filming and my workflow. So I would highly recommend that for $5.99 you do get this light if you are running a vlogging kit like I am. So just the GoPro, whether you're doing it with a phone, my phone is just there, or this light also has a cold shoe mounting that you can mount onto a mirrorless camera or a DSLR at the top if you are using your camera to vlog with, and this light will almost give you sufficient light in the very early hours of the morning to actually do your vlogs. So the people who would use this are people like me who are out in the bush very early on in the morning, or fishermen, or if you're doing any activity that requires you to be vlogging early in the morning. This is almost an essential part of the kit because it's so small, it's so cheap, and you can literally take it everywhere. So that's my conclusion I came to while using this light. So I think let's jump into sort of some of the specifics on this light, and we'll take it from there. So this light, and I'll just show you the back quickly. So it has a couple of functions on the back. So it's got 5 switches just to put it on. So it's on now. And this is the LED 6R, R standing for RGB, because I'll show you a feature that it can actually do that makes it stand out from its, I think, cheaper bi-color light. So you get an LED 6 bi, which is just this bi-color light, which I have on at the moment. So I think it's CCT, which stands for color controlled temperature. So you can actually control the temperature from very warm, which is 3200 Kelvin, all the way to very cool, which is 6500 Kelvin. So I don't want to shine the light directly into the camera. I've got the exposure settings just set up. Hopefully I'm not overexposing at the moment. So Godox make the same light in a just bicolor. So it does what I just showed you, goes from 3200 Kelvin to 6500 Kelvin. So that's your color temperature range. Then what you can also do is control the intensity. So this is at 100, and then you can take it all the way down to, I think it's 10% if I'm not mistaken. Oh, it goes to 0. So here's 1, and then let's take it all the way up back to 100 again. I think the difference between the RGB and the bi, when I was buying it, was just $100 or something like that. So this was $5.99 and the bicolor was $4.99. So if you press and hold the menu button down while it's on the temperature, it goes from bicolor to RGB mode, which is 360 degrees of color, and then you can cycle up between those 360. So, you can go from blue to red and then all the way back to blue again, with some variation in between. As you can see, we just cycling through it. And this I found useful for when I want to light up like my shelf or something like that in the background. I can even light up this wall or the painting, and you can make it a different color. With the lights on, you probably won't see that, but if you had a darker studio, you could use this as a background color, as a branding color. So if for whatever reason your brand color was this shade of green, you can put it on a white wall, and then it should make that white wall your brand colors almost. So that's a feature in the RGB that you won't get in the bicolor. Then there's also a function button. So there's 13 built-in functions. At the moment, this one is emulating a candlelight. So if you wanted, for instance, a candlelight flickering over here, it's meant to then emulate that. And then you can cycle through all the functions. This is meant to be a firelight, and then fireworks, police car. So if you have this, for instance, and it's really bright, but if you have it off camera somewhere, it's almost like you being followed by a police car or pulled over by a police car. So cheap special effects from Godox. That's an ambulance, another ambulance. So this is SOS. So it messages SOS with the light, and then it cycles through all the colors. And this is cool if you've got it on a shelf as a background color. The lightning effect, so it's off and then on. So some very cool effects, I think. So yeah, that's all the functions that the LED 6R can do. I did test it out in the field, and I'll run a few clips now with it. When I was camping, I think I woke up very early, and I had the sun had risen already, so it was that semi-dark, semi-bright time of the day. It was not bright enough yet for the sun to be, your main light, but it was not dark. So I tested it out there almost as in a transition period. I think that's about where I'll find the most use of it, especially with this GoPro, which is not the best in low light situations. I also had the chance to test it. Like I said, we left camp at like 3:30 a couple of the mornings on the Birding on Fit. So I had a chance to test it while we were doing that. and you'll see, I mean, that is the reason I say you need this light. With no light in the dark, if you're just vlogging, you're not seeing anything at all. You're just seeing the darkness. And then with this light there, everyone could see my beautiful big head. And, you know, I'm in the frame, and you can see that it gives you a better picture in no light situation. So when it's very dark, or if you're in a dark hotel room or something like that, you can almost buy it just for that. And then what I tried as well is at the Pafuri picnic spot, I had the opportunity where the background was blown out. So the background was the sky and very bright, and I was standing in the shade of the trees. It's not as discernible in that condition, but it will certainly help you if you want to pull out some of the shadows, because what this then does, it gives you a light source close to your face. That means your GoPro, for instance, isn't losing as much detail in the shadow. So if you then do pull out the shadows, you'll get less noise in the shadows when you're doing the video color grading. What I'm going to do now is just turn off these lights and show you all how powerful this one is. So I haven't changed any of the settings on the camera, so I'll probably be very dark now. I'm just going to turn this on and put it in the right mode. So let's shoot somewhere halfway, let's say about 5,000 Kelvin. So not cold, not hot. So I don't know if, obviously sitting in front of the camera, I don't know how much difference that makes, but here in the studio, I would always suggest studio lighting, but that's without the light on, that's with the light on, warming up. So as you may or may not know, there's a sort of a square rule with light. So the closer you are, the brighter it's going to be. This is probably going to be like a very ghost-like horror movie shot with the light from underneath your chin. And then the further the light is, the dimmer it's going to be, you know, without changing any of the settings on the camera. But I think you can still, you know, if you've got two of these lights especially, use one as a key light, light up one side of your face, put one behind you as a highlight just to fill in the shadows on the other side. Otherwise, you're going to get a very contrasty image, as you can see. So we're going to just turn those studio lights back on. But yeah, I think just to conclude the review of this LED Litemons 6R, very versatile little light. This is literally, you know, the size of it. You can put it in a bag. If you're vlogging with your phone, you can literally hold this with one hand, your phone in the other hand, and vlog, do your TikTok dancing or whatever it is. So great investment. I would suggest to anyone who's in my line of work to get it, and I think you'll find a lot of use for it. And you know, I've even used it now with the load shedding as just a constant light in the lounge. It lights up most of the lounge. The battery lasts just under 2 hours, so not enough for the whole of load shedding. And it's got a USB port in the back there that you can charge it with. So no extra batteries to carry around, no extra cables to carry around, and it's very useful. In terms of my videos, I'm going to be using it, I think, all the time going forward, and you'll probably see it being used in the videos as well. So I think while we talking about tech and you know, while we're doing a tech review, you would have seen in the previous video that I didn't quite lay out a tech path for 2023. And I think mainly because of steps I took in 2022. So as you may have known, I got my Sony A1, which I'm filming with at the moment. in February last year, and I'm extremely happy with it. I did a review after what was 10,000 shots, or basically one trip to the Kruger. I think since then, I must have put on maybe another 80 or 90,000 shots. So I may already have gone over 100,000 shots. So, you know, I'm making good use of my A1. So I don't think there's any inclination to switch from the A1 into anything else. Maybe, you know, if I could afford it, I'd buy a second A1 just as a backup, and to have a second lens on a camera out in the field, but I can't afford it. And maybe, you know, once I get monetized, I can save every cent that we make on the YouTube channel, and eventually in about, I think about 200 months, it will probably be down payment on the A1. No, I think what I'm actually looking forward to from Sony is the crop sensor body that hopefully they will release this year. I was waiting for most of last year for them to release it. The Fujifilm, I think it's the XH2, the high performance crop sensor that they have, runs a Sony sensor that can do, I think it's 30 or 40 frames per second. Stack sensor in a crop sensor body that allows that high frame rate output on the still shooting, but then it compromises a little bit on the video, and I think the XH2 has a further crop on the video when it's doing video, but can still, I think, do 4K 60, which I think will be fantastic in a crop sensor body. If Sony comes out with that, I'm definitely going to be looking into it. In terms of lenses, I think I've outlined before that, you know, once you've got the 100-400, the next jump is 5 or 6 times the price to get a 400 or a 600 mm prime lens, and that jump at the moment is too big. If, however, I do get a used version of either one of those lenses, it's definitely something that I will consider given the right price. I did get the 14mm f1.8 prime, which is on the other end of the spectrum. It's a very wide angle for landscapes, and I did put it through its paces in the Kruger especially, and I'll do a quick review of that in a couple of videos time. So watch out for that coming up as well. But otherwise, in terms of tech, I don't see us spending too much money to buy new lenses or camera bodies. So I think 2023 is going to be more one of learning and pushing the limits of this camera. One of the things I want to do very soon is take the camera out, put it in a flat video profile, so an S-log video profile, and then try my hand at color grading from flat. But let's see how that goes, and yeah, we'll play around with that, I think, in Premiere Pro going forward. So yeah, I think that's a wrap for this video. If you have 600 Rand to spare, definitely get this Litemons LED 6R. I wouldn't go for the bicolor. I think the benefits of having the RGB are so much more significant that, you know, just spend the extra $100 and get it. I don't know who would supply it, probably Godox themselves. I'll try and get a referral code. I will try. I don't know if they will actually give me one. If I do, I'll put it in the video description and you can go through and get it there. But I think from the use I got out of it in the Kruger and on my last trip, definitely worth the $600. I think it's paid itself off already. And if you are one of those outdoorsy types who's up at before the crack of dawn, 3:30 in the morning and out like I am, then definitely this is a no-brainer for you. So we'll catch you on the next video now, which is going to be Soutpansberg birding video, which we'll upload sometime later in the week. We're going to have to work around load shedding and things like that just to get it out. But yeah, this is the struggle of being here in South Africa.